And I found an amazing listing on Airbnb, and it sort of like worked really great for our family. I remember it was like almost an aha moment that I should be talking to Airbnb, and that's sort of how I started my journey here.
What did you think you wanted to be when you grew up?
I think when I was in high school, I was walking one day and I saw banners for these computer science classes, and I was just really enamored by it. I have an older brother, and I got a lot of inspiration from him, and he got into computer science, and I always liked math, and I liked science, and I started taking these classes after school, and I think that's sort of what really sparked that interest in me. I'm on our guest experience team. So what that means is that we try to guide the user through their experience here and their journey on the site. And that starts with searching. So you tell us a little bit about where you're going, and we really try to play matchmaker there. Like, we try to sort of match you up with listings that make sense.
What are the tools and apps you most often use?
The two main programming languages we use here are Ruby and Java. And so if I use Sublime Text, which is an editor for Ruby, and I use IntelliJ for Java. And I generally have a terminal window open where I'm either compiling code, or we do a lot of data analysis, and we use Hadoop and Hive for the analysis. And so I probably have a Hive window open where I'm just running queries for either for like learning something about future projects, or just about some project, getting supporting data for a project that I'm working on.
Can you just take me in general through a typical day at work for you?
So I spend my time doing a couple of things. So that could be implementing changes, code reviews, working with other people on figuring out are there any roadblocks. Another big part that I spend my time on is just trying to figure out what projects should be on our roadmap. You know, you sort of need to play this game of, okay, we have this much time, and you always, you know, initially when you're trying to figure out what to do, it's easy to say, you know, I want to do all of these things, but then as the date for launch gets closer, you need to keep evaluating and seeing, you know, do I still want to do these particular problems or particular features?
What's the biggest pain in the ass or challenge to your job?
I think, I mean, there's sort of one aspect, which is that, you know, am I working on a problem that really matters the most, right? Like, especially at a company at our stage, it can be sort of, you know, it can be pretty challenging. I think it's that you have to sweat out the details. I think that, you know, just solving 50% of the problem or 80% or sometimes even 90% is not enough, and it just gets incrementally harder. And so just having the patience and the perseverance to just get through the whole problem.
And what's your workspace like?
I like the way we sit here, which is we have open spaces. I can talk to people who are on my team or on just other teams that we're collaborating with. It's like there's almost no barrier to having these conversations. I think as long as you're willing to learn, that's sort of the most important quality. And also, I think a lot of people feel that they have to go through the certain training to learn all the skills that they need. And that's, yes, you learn some basic foundational skills, but a lot of it you have to pick up on the job. Even though I came with experience, there was still a ton of things that I had to learn. So I think you're just always learning, and as long as you accept that you're not going to know everything, I think that it makes the job just a lot easier.